Okay, in this video, I'm going to take a look at the sort of hours that I work every week and how I organize my affairs. I know this video may not be of much consequence or much use to many people, but do know that there is some individuals out there who probably benefit from it, and it's for those individuals, I suppose, I'm making this video. Firstly, I'm going to look at basically the hours that I do on a weekly basis, and I'm very much a person of habit, so I do practically the same thing every day, every week. That may seem boring to you, but from the point of view of organising yourself in a professional practice, especially a solicitor's practice, which requires you to be organised and very aware of time limits and so on, being boring and being consistent, having standard operating procedures, operating very much to a calendar, operating very much to a structure, being very organised, those are benefits. Those are real assets in your business. I am aware of solicitors' practices who struggle with organisation and so on, and who may have excellent solicitors, absolutely excellent solicitors, but who struggle with a number of things, especially the basic organisation of the practice on a daily basis. So I'm going to put up a couple of graphics on the screen there, but I have to be careful and prudent about making them not entirely visible or opaque. But the first graphic I'm going to put up is the hours that I work every week and every day. And if you take a look at the screenshot on the screen there, you'll see that from Monday to Friday, I start at 6 o'clock in the morning and I finish at 5 p.m. in the evening. That is 11 hours in a day, but I don't work for lunch. Lunchtime, I take an hour off at lunch. So I work, as you can see there on the spreadsheet, 10 hours per day. On Saturday, I work from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and Sunday pretty much the same. So that's an extra 10 hours. The total every week is 60 hours. That might seem very high to you, and if you're in a PAYE job, or indeed if you're in a job that you don't actually like, 60 hours would be the equivalent of being in Dante's Inferno. It would be very difficult. But when you like your work, when you are interested in your work, then it's not so hard, it's not so difficult. But as you can see, I do 60 hours a week. How do I organise myself and my affairs? I use two tools in particular, and it's vitally important to have good organisation and standard operating procedures. I use a tool called Trello. It's it's a free tool, Trello.com. You should have a look at it. It's basically a project management software or online platform. It is very, very easy to use. It's very, very intuitive. And the way that I use it is essentially I have lists for each employee who works here, including myself and including the bookkeeper. So you basically have two lists. One is to do and the other is done. So that when something arises, something that I need to assign to one of the people who work here, Jennifer or Josephine or whoever, I will assign that. I will immediately put it on the Trello board and I will put it in the list of to do. So that little note, it's very much like a sort of a notice board, except it's electronic and it's online. I will put a note on it. For example, John Doe will be the name of the client, and then it'll be see what's outstanding for check release, or contact the other solicitor about when we can complete, etc., etc. So once I have put that on the Trello, once I put it on the list for the colleague or employee concerned, then I forget about it. And the key thing here is that I'm not trying to remember stuff. Everything that I need to remember is written down. So I don't have to remember stuff. I take stuff out of my brain and put it into Trello. And I assign tasks as they pop up to employees. And then I will review on a weekly basis the list, each employee's list, and say, okay, let's go through your list and we'll see what's done, what's outstanding, etc., etc. In terms of moving then tasks from the to-do list to the done list, I'm the only person who can do that. So I reserve the right to check with the employee, to check that the task is carried out. And once it is, and we're happy that it's done, then I'll drag it over from the to-do list to the done list. The second, that's a key tool, a key part of the organisation of my practice, my professional practice, my files, looking after clients, etc., etc. I'm not struggling with bits of paper all over the place. I'm not struggling to try to remember stuff. Everything that needs to be done, every little task, every little doing that needs to be done goes on to Trello. And as I say, it's assigned to a human person. And then I check with that person every week. Let's go through your Trello. It could be on a Thursday, it could be on a Friday. It doesn't make any difference. That's the first thing, and Trello is a huge part of the organisation of my business. It's a fantastic tool. You should have a look at it online yourself. It's completely free. The second tool I use, big time, big style, is Google Calendar. Again, I'll put a screenshot on the screen, but I have to be careful about disclosing client information and so on and so forth. But the calendar is absolutely critical. Every call that comes in here is logged in the calendar, and they are color coded. So a call with the caller's name and number is given a particular code, or a particular color rather, and so that when I glance at the calendar every day, I can see exactly who has called, what the message was, and their number, etc., etc. When I say it's color coded, I also then have in the calendar appointments. So these are consultations. It has a different color, and I specify a particular number of consultations per day, and as whoever is answering the phone here takes inquiries and speaks to people looking for assistance and looking for a consultation, then I have given a specific number per day, and the person answering the phone simply looks at the calendar, sees what's available, and slots in the caller. That's how it works. I can look at my calendar then, and I can see exactly who I'm meeting, what it's about, and I can see all of the calls that have come in. So everything, every interaction essentially that occurs in relation to the firm, I'm on top of it. I know what's going on. All of the emails, etc., etc., that are funneled in here, they come straight to me, and I deal with them as a matter of urgency and as a matter of course. So the key thing, you need to be organised, whether you're a solicitor or an accountant or perhaps a management consultant or in some other business, a completely different business. You're going to make life easier for yourself. You're going to make life much less stressful, and you're going to reduce the chances of causing yourself anxiety if you are organised. And there are tools which allow you to become organised. These are the two tools that I use to an enormous degree: Google Calendar and Trello. And the great thing about these two tools is that they're free, although I pay for Google Calendar because I pay for the G Suite suite of products, because I have Google Drive and I store files in the cloud and all that sort of thing. But the great thing about these two tools is they're accessible from anywhere. So when I go home, or when I go away for a weekend, or when I go on my holidays, if I want to, I can see who's called, etc., etc., and I can, as I say, access at the weekend, on a Saturday or a Sunday, if I need to, Trello and Google Calendar. Although quite frankly, I don't spend much time looking at Calendar or Trello at the weekend. Most of my work at the weekend will be to do with either writing blog posts or creating videos, which is another benefit of working 60 hours a week, or spending 60 hours a week on my business. A lot of my time is spent on the legal aspect of it, but an awful lot of my time is spent on creating useful content for people, videos, which in turn generates clients, generates leads, generates clients. So all of that extra time, the 60 hours a week I do, versus somebody else doing 40 or 45 hours a week, I have a huge amount of time to make videos, write blog posts, and create really useful content, which in turn drives leads, which in turn drives clients, which in turn drives the business. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you gave it the thumbs up down below. Thanks a lot.